Manager, Tuan Sri Datuk Dr. Property Manager Surveyor Abdul Rahim bin Rahman, Executive Chairman Al-Rahim & Co. International Sidang Berhad, yang berbahagia Datuk Property Manager Surveyor Firdaus bin Musa, the Conference Organizing Chairman, yang berbahagia Surveyor Dr. Eugene Sia, Chair of RICS Southeast Asia Board, yang berbahagia Property Manager Surveyor Haji Ishaq bin Ismail, President of the Malaysian Institute of Property and Facilities Manager, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really honored to cross the border from Kuala Lumpur to Petaling Jaya this morning, raining all the way, to be with all of you this morning. My special thanks to my fellow mayor of Petaling Jaya, Haji Muhammad Zahri bin Haji Samingon, if he's here. No? Maybe I'm sure the police are here. Your collaboration actually across local government boundaries, as you all know, is the cornerstone of a successful, resilient and future-fit Klang Valley, as we call it, Greater Kuala Lumpur. I wanted to start my keynote address by locating where we are, because nature, biodiversity, pollution, extreme climate event, and as the normally these forces of nature do not respect human-made boundaries. I wanted to start the keynote address by saying that we must embrace an ecosystem approach if we want to future-proof our cities, to extend the lifespan of our built environment, and if we want to achieve a city for all. That is a theme for Kuala Lumpur, a city for all. I think this is also applicable to many other cities in the world. All of us agree that inequality is the root cause of instability. As Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, we do not want to have a tale of two cities. One part for the rich and one section for the poor. Similarly, we cannot have a built environment that does not think of itself as part of the natural environment, or that think that nature can be tamed. In short, I would like to use the time allocated to me. I checked with Datuk just now, said you have 20 minutes. Oh, that's very long. This morning, having crossed from Kuala Lumpur into Petaling Jaya to put a case for an ecosystem approach when thinking about the lifespan of our built environment. Distinguished guests, if we want to build a city that lasts, we need to understand that a city is fundamentally a habitat. It is a human-made settlement. Indeed, buildings in a city have a lifespan, but the best-built ones often outlive its builders. In short, if one adopts an ecosystem approach, one understands that it is people who determine if a city life thrives, dies, and renews. As the founding General Manager of the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Georgetown, Penang, in 2008, I'm attached to the culture-based urban regeneration process that brought new life of Georgetown. At that time, before the UNESCO listed, it was called Ghost Town, because people are leaving the city, following the city. I think this is experienced with many parts, including the inner city of Kuala Lumpur. You can see that the building, I think soon, the Maybank will move to 118, and there are many buildings inside there. So I think you are the property manager, please help me what to do with this building. And we are now thinking about coming out with a guideline called repurpose. How can we repurpose this building? I think many parts of the world, even recently I read an article in New York where they turned the commercial building into a micro housing for those people who are newly married. They don't need a big house, but they want to work in the city. I think there's a place. So I need your help. We did a survey. There are 111 buildings which need to give new life to it, because the activities, the commercial activities are moving out, going towards a new areas which is more modern, have more technology, and it's more green. So, but I think we need to bring back. I think that's why when you were in the Georgetown, we use culture that's transforming it from ghost town to a vibrant heritage city now. That's the reason why in June, the Ahmad Muhammad Perdana Menteri launched the Heritage Kuala Lumpur for that particular areas, around 20 kilometers square. So please help me when maybe you can discuss during your session today. So more recently, in the Malaysian context, there have been a lot of debate around the proposed Urban Renewal Act. Maybe you have your own ideas about it. Urban renewal as a process and as the bill described has many dimensions, and it can take many different forms. Globally, and speaking as the former Executive Director or Under Secretary General of UN Habitat, I can tell you, I managed to travel to 79 countries for the past 6 years when I was in the UN. Many cities around the world are struggling with the same question that bring us here this morning. So how do we build resilience as we embark upon regenerating our built environment? How do we extend the lifespan of our asset in the face of extreme climate events? In what way do we collaborate to share knowledge, expertise, and capacity build the asset managers on technical perspective? Finally, let us be people-centered for the decision we make on buildings, on transport, on housing, and infrastructure are not about bricks or concrete alone. They are about dignity. They are about opportunity. They are about the promise of a better tomorrow. I think as Mayor of Kuala Lumpur, I see these choices play out every day. During the last monsoon, as pumps kept water flowing and roads open, I was reminded that resilience is not a plan written on paper only. It is the assurance that families can still get home safely, that businesses can continue, and that the city never stops moving. This is why resilience is our first responsibility, and in the last 2 years, we expanded retention ponds by 20% and installed 30 new pumps. We don't want to be a pump city also. But more importantly, we enhance maintenance to deepen existing retention ponds and make sure drains are clear to channel water to ponds efficiently. With the near real-time rainfall and traffic data, we are learning to anticipate, not just to react. I think this data is very, very important. Colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, as we recently concluded last month, ASEAN Governors and Mayors Forum, 300 mayors and city leaders convened in Kuala Lumpur internally, and also internal and also international at the ASEAN level to share experiences, commit to a stronger cooperation and to strengthen local action to help achieve the climate and global goals. Resilience, as you all know, particularly in the context of built environment, is central to the new urban agenda and the SDG 11. A resilient built environment is more than achieving a full asset life cycle. Indeed, it is regarding it as part of a broader metropolitan ecosystem. From planning and financing to construction and operation, through to renewal and even repurposing, the value of an asset lies in how well it adapts to its ecosystem. In Kuala Lumpur, we map our asset by age, condition and functionality so that maintenance keeps up with the reality on the ground. In older districts, we pair audits with market testing to decide when to retrofit, to repurpose or redevelop. We have 139 renewal sites identified under the Kuala Lumpur Local Plan 2040. And this life cycle decision will shape how to build back better and how to build back greener. So facilities management is central to life cycle value. It should not be ignored until something breaks. I think that is our norm. Rosak baru nak baiki. You know, we are, well, in terms of the maintenance, I'm also talking as the DBKL, the maintenance culture. In KL, public buildings now generate more than 10 MW of solar power. The solar PV installation on 3 of our DBKL buildings also alone reduced electricity bill by 10 to 50% between January and October 2024. While at the same time cutting emission at the same time. We also launched our Energy Management Plan 2050 across more than 27 DBKL buildings, with the potential to reduce the city's footprint by 180,000 tons of carbon dioxide over 25 years. These are not abstract savings. They are proof that good facilities management extend asset lifespan and show how managing the whole life cycle delivers measurable value. Equally important is embedding ESG into the life cycle decisions. Our Local Plan 2040 Gazette on the 28th May and effective 11 June 2025 commits us to 70% public transport use by 2040. You think that we can achieve it? It's a tall order, but I think we have to move towards public transport. We are planning to have 20 square meter of open space per person. At the moment now 10. In terms of transport, at the moment now 70 private, 30 public. Now we want to turn it 70 public, 30 private in 2040. Open space at the moment now 10 square meters. We want to achieve 20 square meters. And this, we want to have 4,700 extra hectares of parks, 254 kilometers of green connectors, and 305,000 affordable housing. And at the moment now it's like around 40% of our stock. I learned a lot when I traveled, when I was in the UN, and our neighbor, the Eugene, I think in Singapore, they have a very good green connector. That we want to have at least 254 green connectors where you can walk seamlessly in the city. And I think my daughter is a very great critique of me because I have a grandson that's 2 years old. Keep on complaining to me. I want to push the pram, but every time I have to carry. I have to do so many things. I said, there's no seamless. What are you doing, Ibu? You are the mayor of Kuala Lumpur. Can you do something to this? So I said, where's family? Critics. It hurts. When other people critics, it's normal, But when family, I'm going down, I want to push your hand, I said this into the parks, and then I want to, but this is so difficult. can you do something like they used to say that, like Singapore? He went to Singapore, said, oh, I can push him seamlessly. And I cannot do it in Kuala Lumpur. I said, no, maybe you go to the wrong place. You should go to this place, then you can push, at least 1 or 2 kilometers uninterrupted. So I think this is what we would like to see, a green connector, and we want to have 254 kilometers. We already started doing this. So these are our efforts, and these targets make clear that life cycle management is not only about physical durability, but also about social inclusion and environmental resilience. So Kuala Lumpur already has more than 16 parks, big parks, and over 400 recreational parks, and 25 pocket parks, and with 110 new open spaces and 10 more pocket parks planned. I was quite surprised. Sometimes we take things for granted in Kuala Lumpur. When I asked my colleagues during the ASEAN Mayors Forum, I said, what is your impression of the first impression of Kuala Lumpur? I asked many of them. They said clean and green. I said, clean? I said, okay. Green? I said, yes. They said, because you have a city in the park in the city. Then when I asked, when I want to do this speech, when I asked, how many parks actually we have? I said, we have 16 public parks, the big park, like Botanical Garden, Titi Wangsa, and then Tugu, and 400 recreational parks in KL, and 25 pocket parks. And we are now opening 110 new public spaces. I think that is true. We are a city in the park in the city, but we don't really appreciate, we take things for granted. When I ask them, Kuala Lumpur is clean? I said, yes, it's clean compared to other cities in. But I think that is true. But then behind my head, do you know how much I spend to clean Kuala Lumpur? To deliver to you this clean, do you know how much I spend? Tell me, is it 260 million a year? That on just cleaning solid waste management. No tipping fee yet, no transportation yet, 260. So I say that if we can reduce half waste generation, then I can save 130 million to do other purpose. To use that funding to make a better parks, to make a better market, to make a better community halls. But now, in order to serve, to keep clean, then I have to spend 260 million. Behind, they don't know how much I spend. They say, oh, even the Japanese, there's one Japanese, I think you can see in the TikTok, they said, wow, now Kuala Lumpur as clean as Japan. I said, wow. I took that TikTok and I sent to the young Ahmad Muhammad PM. Ahmad just smiled. But how much that we spend to get that, the city clean at that standard now. So I think this is also about resilience in terms of financial. How long can we use 260 million to keep the city clean? How long? So I think we don't increase our assessment since 2014. Maybe I'm thinking to increase the assessment. Let's see. So I think this is very important to see that you can see the corporate partners like Standard Chartered now who adopted the pocket park. We are now going towards, we look about finance, we are going towards OP, public-private people partnership. So we have an adoption program. So the Standard Chartered adopted pocket park in Jalan Piramli. You can see this beautiful park and see how the private sector can co-create and extend the life cycle of green space in partnership with community. So actually this afternoon I am going to the PPR area to meet the community and also officiate the public pocket park. And they are going to adopt it, the community is going to adopt it. For example, and on ESG, is more than target. This is our first program during Ramadan Bazaar. Normally there's a lot of food wasted. Our food rescue program, we cooperate together with the young people. We saved 11,483 kilograms of food. The food is still good. We tested it because we have a doctor, we have the nutritionist in our DDKL. Then we repack and we send it to the B40. And you're surprised, they are waiting for us, for our car every Ramadan, every Buka Puasa, waiting. Ada hari ini makanan apa Datuk Seri? Ada pulut panggang tak? Ada kuih seri muka tak? You can see their face. And all this food, if not because of this program, 11,483 will go to the rubbish bin. And it's still good. And it provided 23,000 meals and avoided 21,500 kilograms of carbon. So I think this is measurable impact. It's what inclusion looks like in practice. Globally, the scale of investment required to sustain the built environment over its full life cycle is immense. I was the advisor to the president of COP29. I was in Baku. At COP29, climate finance commitment rose from USD 100 billion to USD 300 billion a year. Yet, the United Nations estimates developing countries need USD 1.3 trillion annually. We can only get 100 billion, 300 billion, but we need 1.3 trillion annually if we do nothing. Life as usual. So I think cities cannot do this alone. We must crowd in private finance and build genuine public-private people partnership. And Kuala Lumpur is ready to show how this works with our 15th flagship program and local climate action plan. And we also recently launched our endowment. So please collaborate with us, because this endowment, if you want to know what this endowment is all about, maybe we can give you a short talk. I think my pengarah is here, Cik Fazilah. Maybe you can stand up. She's the one who was handling the endowment. So you can, when here, you can ask her what is this endowment all about. So digital transformation must also move beyond pilot and into the daily work of life cycle management. Through the Kuala Lumpur Urban Observatory and our digital twin, we are connecting asset registries, maintenance logs, sensors and citizens' reports. Predictive maintenance works only if data is clean, complete and trusted by the people on site. Even you have a data, sometimes, I don't know whether we have data, maybe we have a statistic, figures. Because figures without analysis is not a data, it's a figure. So I think figures plus analysis tool is equal to data, data equal to information, then you can make a informed decision when you're making any decision, whether it's in our work or in our daily life. So I think this is very important. That's why my call to partners is very clear. Adopt open standard, build tools that talk to one another, and design technology that extends the usable life of asset while reducing cost and risk. Colleagues, what does this mean for those of us gathered here today? For asset owners, it means developing life cycle strategies that look decades ahead. For valuers, it means pricing climate, accessibility, and service reliability in your assessment. For facilities managers, it means that measuring outcomes that matters across the operational life of buildings. For financiers, it means tying investment to verified performance over the long term, not short-term promises. And for technologies, it means designing systems that scale, connect, and help assets last longer. For Kuala Lumpur, it means aligning all these actions under the Kuala Lumpur Local Plan 2040 and the 15 flagship programs. We are working towards zero waste 2040. We launched in June this year the action plan and planting 50,000 trees each year and building a city that is both livable and lovable. That's why when you do your social media, starting from today, hashtag livable and lovable Kuala Lumpur, please. I introduced it last September. Because if you love Kuala Lumpur, you will take care of Kuala Lumpur. So So if you don't love, then when you love someone, you do everything. Lautan api sanggup direnangi. So if you love Kuala Lumpur, you do everything for Kuala Lumpur. So I think it's very, very important for us that at the same time, because a city that works also for the elderly, we are towards that. 15% of our population now is in the Warga Emas. For children and also for the vulnerable, is a city that works for everyone. That's why the theme of Kuala Lumpur is City for All. I will go to the infrastructure. It's not only steel and concrete. It is about equity, trust, and care. Designing for resilience, accessibility, and longevity is not a burden. It is a foresight. It is wisdom. And it is the responsibility that we share. As I said in the opening, this is an ecosystem thinking. It is time we bring the built and the natural environment together. A key imperative if we want urban renewal to be an opportunity to develop future-fit cities. At the same time, we always mention about nature-based solution. Are we implementing it, nature-based solution, or maybe just talking about it? I think we need to implement it in our day-to-day life. So if you ask, I ask you now, if each of us leave this hall today with just one practice to implement in the next quarter, what difference can we make? Can we challenge ourselves after 2 days, after this conference, what are the differences that we personally as an individual will take and as a profession will take, or as a business, in order to talk about resilience, is about sustainability. By the next monsoon, people must already feel the change. Okay, this today raining, from KL to here. This is mission that our Prime Minister has set for us. What will you do to ensure that our cities grow sustainably and is truly a city for all? It's not only a duty of the mayor, but a duty for all of us in Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia. Please remember that just as assets need to last a full life cycle, a city needs partnership, investment and visionary leadership to renew, regenerate, and last across many lifetimes. We just take a city less at our body. I'm already 64. I'm 18 here already there, So it's a city age maybe like 50. If all the tram, the roads, and all the buildings, is all our way, sometimes locked here and there. So we need to see that the city is like our own body. So I think where are the clocks, where are the things that is? I think where can we renew? How can we take the city as is to say that it's city for all and can last many lifetimes? So I would like to end my keynote speech that let us aspire to inspire before we expire. Thank you.